Okay, let's try something a little different. Forget the ancient robes and the cryptic teachings, just for a moment. What if we were to analyze one of the world's most famous mystics, Sadhguru, not as a sage, but as a product manager? What if his entire spiritual system was actually a meticulously designed product built for the modern world?
Well, that's exactly the lens we're going to use today. See, you could argue that Sadhguru isn't just teaching ancient science. He's re-engineering it for a global user base. His product isn't a religion, it's a system. And the goal of that system? To take this really abstract idea of liberation and turn it into a usable, practical technology for well-being. So, here's how we're going to deconstruct this. We'll start with the product manager's mindset, then we'll look at the new operating system he's built. After that, we'll get into his really contrarian market decisions, the daily inputs the system requires, and we'll even reverse engineer the core formula. And of course, we'll end with the user manual. So, let's dive into Section 1, the product manager. Now, to really get this system, you've got to stop thinking about faith and start thinking about function. You know, every great product solves a core problem. And for Sadhguru, humanity's problem isn't a moral one. It's a technical glitch. It's the simple fact that we have almost zero control over our own internal experience. Our joy, our misery, it just kind of happens to us, instead of being created by us. In this quote, this is his core sales pitch, and it is absolutely brilliant. He's not asking for followers, he's not asking for believers. He's basically proposing a hypothesis and then offering a way for you to test it. He's saying, look, here's a technology for your inner world. Don't take my word for it. Go run the experiment yourself and see if you get results. It's a pitch that's perfectly designed for a skeptical, scientific age. So if our inner world is this malfunctioning machine, how do you go about fixing it? Well, you don't just apply a temporary patch, you install a whole new operating system. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in our second section, re-engineering the core concepts. This slide shows you a really crucial software update. On the left, you've got the old code, the idea that pain is external. It's fate, it's karma, some kind of punishment from the outside. Sadhguru's OS reframes this completely. As you can see on the right, pain becomes just an internal system error, a glitch in our own out-of-control experience.
And that reframing, it doesn't just stop there. It extends to the solution. Spiritual practice, in the traditional sense, often means worship, prayer, faith. But in this new OS, practice is more like debugging your code or upgrading your hardware. It's a set of deliberate actions, a technology designed to reprogram your mind-body system so it can run at peak performance.
But here's the thing, to launch a new OS, you can't just follow the old rules. You have to make some bold, contrarian bets. And Sadhguru's entire approach, well, it's built on decisions that pretty much fly in the face of centuries of spiritual tradition.
Just look at this comparison. The traditional spiritual path is slow, it's gradual, it's secluded, picture a monk in a monastery. Sadhguru bets against all of that. Instead of slow, he offers high intensity. Instead of seclusion, he gives you these intense group experiences. And maybe most importantly, instead of secretive little groups, he's built the whole thing for mass market scale and branding. He saw this huge underserved market of people who wanted results, but maybe not all the religion that came with it. Let's be really clear here, this isn't some minor patch. This is a complete disruption. He's taken a product that was exclusive and slow and totally re-engineered it to be accessible and fast. This is a complete rewrite of the market's rules. Okay, so we've got the high-level strategy, but any good system, any good OS, relies on daily inputs, right? So what does the user actually have to do to run this thing effectively?
The focus here is intensely practical. It's not about what you believe. It's all about how you manage the human machine. The daily inputs are things like your body's energy levels, the state of your breath and your spine, and what he calls the engineered management of diet, sleep, and exercise. This isn't just eating healthy. It's about treating these things like precise levers you can pull to control the system's performance, almost like a Formula One engineer fine-tuning an engine before a race.
And right here is the core algorithm for managing your emotions. When you're faced with criticism or negativity or whatever, the system's default response isn't to argue or defend. It's to recognize that pain is never, ever caused by an external event. It is always, always the result of your own internal operations. I mean, this is a radical rejection of the victim narrative.
So all this reprogramming and management, where does it lead? What's the ultimate objective? Well, it all boils down to a single, really powerful formula. And here it is. In this system, liberation isn't some mystical, far-off afterlife. It's defined in pure engineering terms. Complete sovereignty over your own experience system. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It just means you are the sole master of your interior world.
So what does that actually mean in the real world? Well, it's pretty simple. If someone's praise can make you happy, or their criticism can make you miserable, then you're not sovereign. You're still operating in externally controlled mode. Your internal state is basically being dictated by outside forces. True liberation, then, is when nothing external can hijack your internal experience.
And finally, like any powerful tool, this system has a very specific target user. And you know what? It comes with potential risks if it's misused. So, let's take a look at the user manual. The ideal user profile is crystal clear. This operating system, it's really designed for strongly rational thinkers, people who are kind of turned off by traditional religious dogma. It's for people who want to see real, tangible, rapid improvements in their quality of life and are actually willing to put in the work to get there. It's probably not for those who need the comfort of a traditional faith.
But just like any powerful piece of software, there are some known bugs. The first big one is mistaking an improved experience, just feeling happier, for ultimate liberation. The second is simply swapping one dependency for another, in this case on the guru himself. And the third risk is trying to apply a simplistic efficiency mindset to really deep, complex human problems.
At the end of the day, after deconstructing this whole system, the product manager's final question to the user isn't about belief or God or the afterlife. It's a direct, deeply personal challenge that puts the entire operating manual right in your hands. Are you and you alone truly responsible for everything you experience? The answer to that, that's where the work really begins.